What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, got a bit of a rushed video today, unfortunately, but I did want to cover this topic before the Warframe 1999 release date is revealed. We're going to be going over some of the resistances and missions and enemy levels of the 1999 update. Basically, what you can expect combat-wise in this update. So, we'll be going over what we know so far, what mission types there are, and basically what I'm going to be bringing at first to try and tackle these missions that will be on the steel path as well as the normal path. So let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure you sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, news videos, discussion videos, theory crafting videos, all that kind of stuff. You're in the right place for Warframe content, so hit that like button and the sub button as well. Alright, so let's get right into it. So, Warframe 1999, we've got two new factions, and one of them is kind of like a variant of Infested. But the funny thing is, this variant of Infested, the Techrot, are going to be definitely very new as far as the types of enemies we're fighting here. So here is why these new Techrot Infested are something you might want to actually consider modding for going forward. Well, we're dealing with Shielded Infested for the first time. And that's not it. Not only do these Infested have shields, which Infested never have shields, but they've also got different weaknesses too. So since these are the Techrot Infested, they are different resistances than normal Infested or Deimos Infested for that matter. So if you want to fight the Techrot Infested with the best possible damage output, you've got them being weak to magnetic and gas damage, which is not what the Infested are weak to right now. Additionally, they are going to resist cold damage. So we're talking Shielded Infested that have no armor, so keep in mind they have no armor still, but you're dealing with a Shielded Infested, and if they're an Exodus, they're going to have Overguard as well, obviously. So, when we are trying to counter this type of faction here, what should we be doing? Well, there are multiple ways to tackle it. My recommendations would be just to brute force it with like corrosive damage, because we go over the other faction. The other factions weak to corrosive, and the Infested are not, look, they're not resisting corrosive, they're not weak to corrosive, it's just neutral for corrosive on the Techrot Infested. So I'm going to recommend that you do a Corrosive Blast build that can take care of these guys and the other faction we're going to talk about, and not worrying too much about the shields. If you do want to bypass those shields, or you do want the mod specifically for Techrot Infested, then the Warframe Saren might be pretty helpful to you. Her third ability, Toxic Lash, gives an additional hit of toxic damage on her attacks, and toxic damage is one of the only things in the game that can bypass shields for us and the enemies for that matter. So Saren Prime will be a premier frame for this mission, or for this new update. That's not too surprising, I'd say. Additionally, if you want to mod your weapon for gas damage, I'd recommend a very hard-hitting, fast-firing weapon, because a lot of mission types we're going to be doing in 1999 will be basically run and gun. There is a survival mission, but most of these missions, like most of the bounties you're going to be grinding are going to be run and gun, such as we're shown right here. The highest level bounty for Exterminate right here is level 115 to 120. Now, that's on the normal path, and this matches the exact same bounty level for the Cavia, which, when that one's steel path, goes to level 215 and 220. So for a steel path max level bounty for the 1999, expect the enemies to be level 215, 220 to start. Okay? So, now that we've established that, yes, what types of weapons should we bring? Now, I'm going to recommend, if you do have Steel Path and Karnons, to bring those. I also have some non-Incarnate weapons I'm going to be bringing too. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. If you have the Tord and Karnon, it should be very, very good for this mission, for these missions, because it can handle, like, again, it has the stats to back it up. I'm not going to be modding for the resistances of the Infested. I'm not modding for gas. I'm not modding for magnetic. I don't think that's worth it, because the Infested have no armor, and the shield shouldn't be that big of a deal. We'll see on day one, but yeah, if you got a Magnetic Tenant Glaxian, that could also be a great weapon to try out on this day one of this update, because Magnetic Tenant Glaxian, you can do a corrosive, cold, magnetic build, and you know, the cold would be bad against the Techrot Infested, but the corrosive would be good against the other faction, the Scaldra, and the magnetic would debuff their shields, making them very easy to kill. You throw in Nourish too, they're going to be Viral Procced. There can be Viral Proc, Corrosive Proc, Magnetic Proc, and Cold Proc too. So this should be very, very easy to take down after all that stuff is said and done. So we'll show a build for that in a second here. I've been talking about the second faction. What's up with the second faction? Well, they're called the Scaldra, and they're going to be weak to, just like the Grenadier, but actually a little bit different. They're going to be weak to corrosive, impact, and they're going to resist gas damage. So, again, another reason why I'm not going to recommend you mod for gas damage, even though the Techrot are weak to it, these Scaldra resist it. And these missions are going to have Scaldra and Techrot in them quite often. So be aware of that. Now, we'll do a theory crafting video for Face-Off in the future. If you're watching the stream, you probably know a bunch of the theory crafting for Face-Off already. But yeah, for general missions, here's the mission type you're going to be able to run in 1999. Exterminate, capture, survival, endless capture, assassination, and face-off. There might be some other ones we haven't seen yet, but from what we can tell right now, yeah, the only endless mission is to be endless capture and survival. And survival node should be against the infested. So, now that we've established all this stuff, level 220 Steel Path, resisting cold, resisting gas for 2 different factions, what should you be running on your Torrid or whatever really, really strong gun you're going to be bringing here? Additionally, frames like Zaku don't even need to worry about resistance, so maybe just bring Zaku, honestly. Well, I'm currently here in the Simulacrum with a Volt build I just threw together, and the idea of this Volt build will be able to take care of all the enemy factions on 1999 with minimal thought required. So we've got, and also a crazy amount of speed buffing, which is the main reason I'd bring Volt. So we got Volt speed ability, giving a 3.88 times speed multiplier with our build, which can, of course, go up with Molt Augmented and stuff like that. We've got Shock, using the Shock Trooper Augment mod, which will buff our damage. Now, since we have Corrosive on our Torrid already, this will make us have more Corrosive on our Torrid, because this Electric is going to combine into the Torrid's Corrosive. So we get 384% increased Electric on our Corrosive on our Torrid, which means it will be a lot of corrosive damage. Additionally, we got Nourish from Grendel. Somebody on the team's got to run it, and whoever was going to run it, make sure you have it in your team. It's going to add Viral to our weapons. So we're going to have Viral, Corrosive, and Blast. So if you don't know what Blast does, Blast makes enemies explode in a 5-meter AoE. Corrosive removes their armor, and it's just a good damage type. And Viral debuffs them to take damage from all sources. More damage from all sources. So with that being said, unfortunately, I have 2 Unperformers my Volt, so this is not exactly what I'd want to run, but yeah, I prefer probably like Rolling Guard on here or something. But the idea of this build is to speed run these missions. So very similar to my Mirage speed running Exterminate build for Steel Path, we've got Combat Discipline on here. Whenever we kill an enemy, we will take damage because of this Aura mod, and because of that Aura mod damaging us, we can actually take damage through our shields, which lets us proc Arcane Avenger, which gives us increased crit chance on all weapons, and Arcane Agility, which gives us increased parkour velocity, which can be really, really fast. We use Volt Speed as well. So, with all this stuff, and also we're going for crazy power, strength, and duration, too. We have enough range to buff our teammates with Nourish. We've got enough range to buff our teammates with Speed and Shock Trooper. The Electric Shield's a little bit extra damage, too, whenever you want to throw that down. So, with that in practice, we've got the Torrid Incarnon here, with Final Fusillade, Swift Deliverance, and Survivor's Edge. As far as the elementals on here, we've got Corrosive and Blast. Now, you could go Corrosive and Cold, but again, those Techrot do resist Cold, so maybe don't do that. None of these enemies resist Blast, so that's going to be great. They also don't resist Viral either, which would be really easy for us. So yeah, this build is going to be great. If you don't have a Heat Riven, go ahead and just put on a Heat mod there. And there you go. Pretty much the exact same thing. Actually, it's got more status chance, so there you go. So this is going to be used to kill all these enemies. It's going to chain between enemies and go really, really quickly. It's going to be, now, the thing here is, it has so much damage, it can brute force through resistances, even if the enemy Techrot aren't going to necessarily, be weak to it. So here we are right with these enemies here. We're going to go ahead and cast Nourish. We're going to get Shock active, so we've got a huge buff to our damage right now. And we're going to go ahead and just throw one. So as you can see right there, Viral, Corrosive, and Blast. That's a combination that can take care of all these enemies on the new factions. Literally no problem at all. So we activate the Incarnon form, and we just run and gun. We just basically hold on the trigger, activate speed. This is going to be you in the mission, just running through. And since we have proc Arcane Agility, we move really fast when we parkour. And we can also sprint really fast too because of Volt speed. So yeah. These missions will be very, very run and gun, as I stated earlier, so the faster the better. That's going to be the same thing for Face-Off, too. The faster the better. It's not a mission where you have to, be tanky. It's a mission where you have to be really fast. It's a race, basically, so... Yeah, for these Exterminates, these bounties, that would be a great thing to do. Another weapon you could bring is the Ocucore. It's not the most range, but you're going to need to have the augment for it, too. But it's not an Incarnon, so thankfully, it can be really, really strong even without an Incarnon, because it's not an Incarnon. So, as far as what we got in here, we got Corrosive and Heat. As you can see right here, we got Prime Heated Charge, and we've got a electric mod. Now we have a Riven on here with Toxin. If you don't have a Toxin Riven, just put a Toxin mod on there instead. It will be a lot weaker, but it could still get the job done. Now, as far as Bane of the Infested working on Techrot, we don't actually know. Also, notice how I have Secondary Fortifier here. Secondary Fortifier can be a nice way to get some overguard when you're running through the mission as well. But yeah, we don't know if Bane of the Infested will work on the Techrot. I don't know. I really don't know. They're called Techrot Infested, right? So I would assume it would work, but also we don't know. And I pretty much am guaranteeing the Scaldra one won't work, even though they're basically proto-Grenadier. So the problem with the Aki-Core is you have to actually get a couple kills before it actually ramps up. So it's going to look really bad on this first kill. But once we get the first kill, we can actually get a lot more damage to start chewing through them. So, yeah. It's an alternative. It's in the secondary slot, too, so you don't have to use your primary slot if you want to use, like, the Aphentis or something. Yeah, the Aki-Core can definitely get the job done for speed running these missions, which is the idea. You can hold on the trigger, just run through. You know, of course, having a little bit more buffing would be nice here, but, yeah, that's why having a team can be good. Having a teammate with Roar, having a teammate with pretty much Roar to make your damage a lot stronger. Now, as far as some other guns, you could bring the Kuva Ogress, you could bring the Kuva Brahma, you could bring any, AoE gun you want. You can bring the Kuva Grappler, for that matter. But I think the main thing here will just be doing the missions as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. So a weapon like the Torrent, a weapon like the Aki-Core, these don't have ammo issues pretty much ever. So that's why I was looking at it from that perspective. Additionally, like I said earlier, Zaku, if you watch some of my Zaku build videos, Zaku could definitely work for this too. Zaku can remove enemy armor and enemy shields with Gaze, or if you're using Ophidim Eyes like I use, that can also remove enemy armor and shields as well. So, for face-off specifically, you're going to probably have to do a little bit more build crafting than I currently got in this video, but yeah. For the general gist, guys, I'd say modding for Corrosive and Blast should be great on these new enemy units. Throwing in Nourish for Viral would also make it extremely, extremely easy. And yeah, expect level 225 enemies on the Steel Path max level bounty. And I think that's about it. So, hope you guys found this video fun and helpful. I'm extremely excited for Warframe 1999. We will get the release date at the Game Awards on the 12th. So, hopefully, actually, I don't even care. If it comes out the night of the Game Awards, I'd be shocked because I didn't think DE would do that anymore. But also, I wouldn't mind being surprised just having an update immediately ready to play. So, I will see you guys on the stream probably tomorrow. I have some stuff I got to take care of today, so it's a little bit of a rushed video. And then I will be covering the Game Awards on my live stream as well, so come on and stop at the live stream if you haven't already. So, if you guys have any ideas for killing the Scaldra and the Techrot really quickly, let me know in the comments down below. Again, we'll have a new Saren video probably this week. That's based around Warframe 1999. But for right now, I just want to give you a general overview of what's going to be happening here. So, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, and peace.